Hello students, today I am going to tell you about the use of static keyword in Java programming language. Static keyword can be used before data members of the class, that is data members of the class, before data members, or it can be used before methods, or third, it can be used before class, or there could be a static block. So I will tell you how static modifier works if we apply before data member or methods or class or before the block. So I will explain it with the help of an example. That is, suppose consider there is a class called A which has some data member like int type A equal to 5 and int type B equal to 10. Now suppose we are having one method which is used to change the value of these variables of the class. For this we can have any method like set data method or get data method which will change the value of these A and B. So A equal to X and B equal to Y. Now we will have one method to display the value of these A and B. So we can have method display which will display the value of these A and B. System dot out dot println, that is A equal to value of A plus /t, B equal to value of B. So this is class A. Now right now we are not using the static modifier before A and B. So first I will tell you that how memory is allocated if we create the object of this class. So we will create one more class for this, that is called class. We can have CA which has public static void main method string args. Now I am going to create two objects of this class, A1 new A and A2 new A. Now we will see the memory allocation to A1 and A2 object of this class. Memory allocated to A1 and A2 will be like this, A1 and A2. So here both A1 and A2 will be having the variable A and B in its memory space, and initial value will be 5 and 10 in case both the cases A is equal to 5 and B is equal to 10. So this is the case. Here both variable A and B are stored in object memory area. But what happens if we use the static modifier before the data member of the class? So I write static. When I write static int A, that I have modified the A by static, then what happens? This variable A becomes the variable of the class. So it will not be stored in the object memory area. Rather it will be stored outside the object memory area, that is in class area. So this is also called class variable. This is also called class variable. So memory for A will be allocated separately and will be initialized by 5. Now suppose what happens, this memory is shared by all the objects of this class, and if any one object modifies the value of class member, class variable, then all other objects of this class will get the modified value. We will see this by example. Suppose I am saying a1.display and a2.display. What will happen here? a1.display, when display method will be called, this a variable is of both object a1 and a2. Rather we will say this variable will be shared by all object of the class. This is common to all objects. So it can be considered as global variable to all the objects of this class. So initially if we display a1.display, then value of a and b will be 5 and 10. In case of a2.display, value of a and b will be 5 and 10. Suppose now I am modifying the value of a1 object by using setData method. a1.setData 100 and 200. Now we will understand what happens here. a1.display, a1.setData, so value of 100 and 100 and 200 will be assigned to here 200. So a, this is what? A is variable of class, not variable of a1 or a2. So value of a will be initialized by 100, a1.display. Then b is the value of a1. B variable is the variable of a1 object. So value of b of a1 object will be modified by 200. Now if we again print both a1.display and a2.display, what will happen here? a1.display will print the value a1, a of a1 is what? 100. A of a1 is 100 and b of a1 is 200. Now a2.display, a of a2, because I have told you that this a is shared by all the objects, so this a is common to all the objects. Here we have modified the value of a by a1, but this modified value will be reflected to a2 objects also. So a2.display, that is a will be 100 and b will be 10. Now you can see clearly here that we have modified the object a1 only. Still the values of a are changed in a2 object here. So this could be used as a global variable. Suppose there could be several examples, like problem of mutual exclusion is there, where several objects can share the common variable. So in those cases we can use the static modifier before the data member of the class. Okay, so this is about static modifier used before data member of the class. Okay students, now I will tell you that how static data members can be used inside a method of the class. So consider another example. Suppose there is a class A which has some static data member and some non-static data member. Static int a is equal to 5 and there is one more member int b is equal to 10. Now we are having one method, non-static method add, which will add the value of a and b. Here we will return a plus b. Now here you can see that this non-static method can call both static and non-static data members. That is, non-static method can use both static and non-static members. Members could be data or it could be method. So here we can write can call both, can call or use both static and non-static members. Members could be both data and method. There is one more method, say this is a square method in type sqr, and this method is this time static. Static int sqr. So this will return what? B a into a. If we use b inside this method, static method, this will produce an error, because static member, that is static data, static method can call only static members. So if I use somehow say system.out.println b, then it will give error, because static method can use or call only static members. It cannot call non-static members. So I can write only return a into a. This is okay. I cannot use non-static data member or non-static method inside any static method. So this is the case. Now we can have one static block, suppose that can be used to initialize the data members of this class. So we can have a static block. Or simply we can understand this example first, then we will understand next one. Class CA, then this class is having public static void main method and string args. One more thing I would like to tell you, that static members, since these are the part of the class, not the part of the object, so can be invoked with the help of class name itself. There is no need to create the object of the class to use them. That's why the method, the modifier static is used before main method. Main method is used before, static modifier is used before the main method, since it can be called with the help of class, and main method is invoked by the JVM of the machine, and at that time no object is created. At this point of time no object is created, and we know that execution of the program starts with the main, so only JVM knows the name of the class. So JVM calls name of the class dot main. So I can call system dot out dot println a dot a, that is static members can be called directly, with the help of class. Similarly, I can call system.out.println what? a.sqr. But to call the non-static members, I have to create the object of this class, as that we know already. So now I will tell you how static block is used. So for that we can have another example, and in this example I am considering just one method, main method inside the same class. So public static block is also there, static, and this is the block. What is the advantage of static block? This block is used to initialize the static data members of the class, because static members are initialized or loaded in the memory when class is loaded. So if you want to initialize the value of these data members, suppose I have written static int a and I want to give the initial value of this to this static data member, then because I can initialize with the help of any method, and method cannot be called itself, so these methods can be called within the main method, and main method is not called till now when class is loaded in the memory. So there is a static block which will be executed before the execution of the main method. So here I can give value to a is equal to say 100. Here I can write one more statement so that I can understand. System.out.println static block executed. With the help of this line, we can understand when static block is executed. That is, it is executed before main or after main. Static block executed. And now I can give value to a only. Say I am giving 100. I cannot assign value to b because this is static block, and I have told you that as static method can call only static member, similarly static block can also call static members only. So I can call static that is static member a or sqr, which is static method. So now I will write public static void and main string args. Now which members I can call inside main method? That is, this a is static, this can be called, b cannot be called because this is non-static, add cannot be called inside this because this is non-static, and square can be called inside this. So I can call simply system.out.println what? a.sqr. There is no need to create the object at this time. Now we will understand what is the output of this program. So first we will understand from here execution of the program starts. So for this, let me remove this. So first of all, static data members will be loaded in memory, and all the static data members and static blocks are executed in the order in which they are written inside the class. So first a will be loaded in memory, and initial value of A will be 0. If we have not initialized A by any value explicitly, then its initial value will be 0. This will not be loaded right now. Add will not be invoked until and unless it is called. This method will be invoked when it is called. Then static block will be executed. So at this time, this line will be executed and output of this program will be static block is executed. Output of this program will be static block is executed. Then next line is what? A is equal to 100. So this value will be initialized to 100. Then execution of main starts. So here a.sqr will call the static method sqr and will print the A into A, that is 100 into 100, that is it will return 10,000 and it will return the value at the place from where it is called. So 10,000 will be returned here and it will be printed in the output 10,000. So here from this program we have learned how static data members and static blocks are loaded in memory and how execution takes place.